Hello everybody and welcome back to another new video on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Jump Force. Now I haven't talked about Jump Force all that often or all that much really on the channel because I was really skeptical about it. I saw it at E3 this year. I thought, the idea and the concept of bringing all of your typical classic like shonen character anime characters into one game into like kind of like a brawler style kind of like fighter. I thought that was an interesting concept, but they had that with J stars, and some people didn't like J stars. Some people had like blaring issues with J stars that they didn't like, and they were just as skeptical as me with with Jump Force as they were with J stars. But the open beta has been active over the course of about like a day and a half. This right now, currently, what's going on at the time of me recording this is the second beta session, and I got a chance to play. I did a little offline battles just to get used to the controls and how to fight and stuff like that. And then I did a couple of online matches, which is actually what you're seeing. You're seeing my few online matches, or my first few online matches that I got a chance to do with the second open beta, or closed beta rather. The second beta session, whatever, right? I have a few first impressions now. Just a reminder, these are my first impressions. This is a beta, and over time, maybe over the course of the next beta, if they decide to do an open one, so everybody gets a chance to play over the course of whenever the full game finally comes out, which is I think around 2019. I actually don't remember if there was a release date at any point that was announced, either at E3 or with leaks, or if it was announced, whatever, right? I have a couple of first impressions, and overall, it's mainly positives because I think this game is actually a lot of fun. I was watching a little bit of gameplay, and before I actually got a chance to play, because people had already gotten a chance to play with the first beta session that was open. I didn't get a chance to play because I didn't have a beta code by then. But by the way, shout out to the guy that gave me a beta code through Twitter. I really appreciate that. Still, I don't know what I can do to repay him for giving me the beta code so I can actually get a chance to play. But I really do appreciate it. If he's watching this, I doubt he's probably watching this. But if he is watching this, you're the homie and you know who you are. But overall, there's a lot of positives. I think the game is a lot of fun. The characters are a lot of fun. The game at times can look better, but most of the time I didn't have really too many problems with what the characters' designs look like, what any graphical issues or anything. The game looks fine, and the characters look fine as well. I think the models, most of the time, like I say, is pretty good, but at times look kind of off with certain close-up shots when characters do their attacks. No characters like moves are really all that broken. I've heard people say that Rukia as an assist is kind of broken and kind of annoying. Not broken, but like mainly really annoying because of the giant like ice wall kind of attack thing. I was using Frieza, and you might actually see it in the gameplay if depending on how long this video is, or depending on which gameplay I decide to use. I was using Frieza on one of my team, and eventually, at some point, I just sneezed. I'm sorry, but at one point in one of my playthroughs, or one of my matches on Jump Force, Frieza was my assist, and I started using the assist, and the guy I was fighting against just didn't know what to do. Just didn't know what to do because Frieza's attack, his death beam, is like really really fast, and it like stretches like all the way across like the map. So I think Frieza's assist is actually like kind of broken, but if you can actually see it, come at you, but before it actually gets to you, you can probably dodge it. Most likely that'll probably be the case, but other than that, there weren't really like any blatant issues that I had it like at all the entire time I was playing. The first like few issues that I had was I got on, I opened the application, of course, on my PlayStation 4 for Jump Force, and the created characters that they have preset for you. You didn't get a chance to create your own character for this beta, but they had preset created characters. The created characters look weird and off, and I'm not sure if it's because of the outfits they're wearing, or just something up with just like character models in this game that made the created characters look really weird. But the created characters look really fucking weird, and that's something that they might need to change, kind of, change around like the models and how they work, because I don't know. Like, I don't know if they can like do that at this point, because they already, you know, you're doing the beta. They're doing the beta mainly just to test to see if character moves are broken, if any characters are broken at all, and there's also like connection issues if people are like not being able to get on the game at all, because there have been people who are complaining that they haven't been able to get the game, who haven't been able to get on to the game and be able to play on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox. Like YouTuber Afro Senju, he literally didn't get to play in the first beta session, and his most recent video is basically just him kind of sulking most of the time, which I found kind of entertaining and hilarious. But the main point of that is that he couldn't even get on the PlayStation 4, but he's able to get on just fine with the Xbox One. So some people are having issues actually getting onto the game and being able to play in the first place, but some people are having a little bit of connectivity issues, which is either due to maybe their connection or maybe there actually is some netcode issues. With that, I actually haven't experienced that many problems with connectivity. Like the first like match, I think so. Yeah, the first match that I played against one guy, it said like connection was lost, and I don't know if that was like some netcode issue or anything, but I think it was because like the guy rage quit, because I barely won against him. I'll be honest, I kind of barely won against him, and maybe he rage quit, which is really stupid if he actually did rage quit. If he's watching this, fuck you. But I think he rage quit. I think that's kind of like the problem with it. There were like a couple of matches that I had afterwards though, where there was a little bit of stuttering, but it wasn't like too bad to where it was unplayable. It was just like a quick little like stutter, and stuff would happen, and then it wasn't really that big of a deal. In terms of overall combat, though, at first the combat was really weird for me to get used to, but then after a while, I learned how to, do this, that, and the other, and it's kind of easy. But the problem that I'm having with some of the combat is I go and I try to do some of my moves, and obviously you need to gauge, and the gauge is like where your health bar is, and that gives you the indication of like, oh, you need this amount of gauge in order to be able to use this move. But I feel like it should take away your gauge, because from what I've seen, from what I can tell at least, I didn't really pay attention all that much to the gauge that you charge up whenever you would use like a super. Is it wouldn't take any of the gauge. Like let's say you charge up to level 3 or level 4, and then you press circle, right? And because in order to be able to use that move to begin with, at times you need to be able to have 3 bars of gauge, and then you're able to use it, but it doesn't take any of it away, and it almost seems like you can kind of spam it at times, and then other times you kind of just run out of it. So there are certain mechanics inside of the game that I've noticed are like kind of weird and don't really make too much sense. Like some of like the bar like circle like thing that's like underneath where your character's like health is supposed to be at, but it's like the bottom corners of your monitor or your TV screen. That's where it is, and you can't really see that most of the time. And if you're not really paying attention, you won't know that you won't be able to do like dash attacks or anything. Which I think that should be like moved or modified or changed in some sort of way, so that way characters know that they have like, oh, this amount of like stamina. Like let's just call it stamina for the time being, but like this amount of stamina in order to be able to like do like a dodge roll out of someone's attacks and et cetera, et cetera. Like they should make it easier for you to be able to like see like how much stamina you have in order to be able to do that. But they should also be able to make it to see how much gauge you have in order to be able to do like an actual super attack. Something else I've noticed as well is that if you press right trigger and then press X, that's your ultimate. That's your like ultimate move. Like for Goku, it's the Super Spirit Bomb. With Naruto, it's the Tail Beast Bomb. Who else? Who else? With Ichigo, it's like Getsuga Tensho or whatever it is. I don't follow along Bleach, so I don't know what other attacks it is. Like basically, it's just their ultimate, like with Vegeta Final Flash, right? But it's really weird how it works. I feel like it should almost work like Xenoverse, like where you need like a certain amount of like key, or in this case, gauge meter, in order to be able to shoot off an ultimate. Because it seems like you can only shoot off an ultimate like once per match or like once per round. No, it's like once per round, right? You can only shoot off an ultimate once per round, and you know what? That's fair. That's balanced, because some characters like ultimates, you have to like charge at them and then hit them, and then you'll do your ultimate. But then some of the characters like ultimates are you just like straight out shoot like a tailed beast bomb or a super spirit bomb and etc. And it's weird because I think it works on how much health you have instead of how much like gauge meter you have, which I feel like that shouldn't be how it works. I feel like people should have more control so when they can actually use their ultimates, because then they make it just kind of seem like there's, that's your last resort. If you're low on health, if you're about to die, then you're just gonna be you could just use your ultimate straight then. But I feel like the ultimates don't do a huge amount of damage to be able to call it like a last ditch effort. I feel like an ultimate should just be used whenever the player wants to use the ultimate, not just when he's low on health. I feel like it shouldn't work like that. My mind is kind of all over the place, as you can tell, just kind of by the commentary. It's late. I'm kind of tired. I kind of waited like all day just to be able to get a chance to play, because I got the beta code from a friend of mine on Twitter. Uh, I got it like this morning. He told me, "Oh, you gotta wait like 11 hours or some shit like in order to be able to play, because the beta session, the first one was already over." And I was like, "Fuck!" And then I had to see what like fucking time zone it was, and it was like Pacific time, and then like what time is it actually gonna start? It's like 9 p.m. and then by the time it's 9 p.m. it's like fucking 11 o'clock, and right now it's like 12:39. It's almost 1 o'clock, and the second beta session is actually almost over. So I'm kind of all over the place. I apologize, but overall, in terms of first impressions, the combat's really fun. It's over the top. It gets kind of chaotic at times, which I think is fine. I think there's a little bit of like extra work that they can do with how the camera and like how certain mechanics actually work. There's like a few mechanics that work a little weird, which I feel like can be touched up, like up until like the final like full game release. Voice crack, full game release. I feel like there needs to be a couple changes with the ultimates. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe some people actually like the way that ultimates work. Whether it changes or not, it doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. It works for me either way. Um, that's kind of it. I don't know. That's kind of really it. For people who are having connectivity issues, there's still that issue with Bondi and them not wanting to fix their netcode like whatsoever on any of their games, which they really need to. Bondi really needs to change the netcode on all the games, especially Xenoverse 2, because that's the one people have been complaining about the most. But that's kind of it. That's kind of it. The game's a lot of fun. I think I actually am gonna buy this game for whenever it fully comes out, whenever the full release actually does come out, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to play against your friends. And it's a game where you can play as any shonen character that you want and fight against other shonen characters. That's fucking awesome. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up like all my first impressions of the game. It's fun. You should play it too. If you have a chance to play a closed beta, go ahead and play it. You're probably already playing it anyway, so whatever. I'm gonna wrap up the video. If you did enjoy for whatever reason, be sure to leave a like. And if you are new and you want to see more videos just like this, subscribe. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm fucking tired. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get some sleep. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.